Audio, video is
It's a grind. MJ in the building with us. It's about to be litty.
For those on camera that can see, that's MJ.
Yeah.
Wave into the camera. There we go.
You ready?
Yeah, we're back, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Technical difficulties won't stop us. This is Don't At Me with Michael and Alex live from Studio A in Beverly Hills.
Hey, Diddy said it best. Can't nobody crip my style. You know that song, Hans?
No.
Oh, my God. I got to play
I might know some, but I'm still dated.
Oh, damn. That's crazy.
But you know it's not dated.
Diddy, though. The new Ciroc, the summer Ciroc is fire.
No, I'm not going to shout him out.
Why?
I don't like
Diddy.
Ciroc. I don't like Ciroc.
Oh
I'll shout
God.
out Diddy, but not for Ciroc.
You cap. That shit
All right,
fire.
fine. Let me cap. But you know what's not capping on this instance?
Let me hear it.
We got Nick Hamilton in the house,
yeah.
ladies
Hello.
and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Nick? What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Shout out to the lady of the studio, me, MJ.
Oh, yeah. We chilling, man. Beverly Hills with it. Hey, the weather is beautiful today.
Yes, yes,
New
indeed.
Drizzy is out.
California.
Hey,
Dude.
Knows how to party.
What
Yeah,
you know about
that Drake, man, that Drake goes hard in the paint, man. That lemon pepper freestyle.
Lemon pepper. Hey, it had me last night. Like, I might have to go get me some lemon pepper.
Right. You know, you talking like,
You
where's the
dropping the
nearest
idea.
Wingstop?
Yeah,
Like,
where's the nearest
damn, Rose,
Wingstop?
you got me going to Wingstop now?
Somebody said him and Ross is like MJ and Pippen. I'm like, they do find ways to
I'm
kill it.
gonna say Steph and Clay.
Stephen Clay. I like that one.
Damn, that's
that's
better.
That's much better.
Jordan Pippen, that's reserved, I feel like. That's like a reserve
Or you could
type of level.
Yeah,
That's-
I would say,
that's
or
Hov and
maybe,
somebody.
maybe Kobe and Powell,
Yeah.
because they were the dynamic duo in
True.
the latter part.
I like that. Kobe
And Powell was an excellent number two.
I'm actually, I'm more in favor of Vladimir Radmanovic and Powell.
Get out of here. Vlad
Shout out Vlad for
Vlad
being
had a
17.
strap for 10 games out of each year.
Yeah,
but
and with the Supersonics too. Remember that man had like 16 points per game for like 2 months
yeah,
straight.
he was solid there.
Dude, can we bring back the Sonics? Like, can they?
Man,
like, the
ASAP.
NBA
Ray Allen. Shout out to Christina Williams.
Kevin Garnett, man.
And shout out to Jamal Crawford too.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's straight up 206 all day.
All day. He lived
So
that.
shout out to
But
Jamal
our
Crawford.
homegirl Christina Williams, she was on Clubhouse. She had Ray on there. He was talking about like trying to do his part to be a co-owner.
I would love to see that, man. I
Supersonics.
think
love it.
him. I would love to see Russell Wilson.
Yes.
You know, since he's always really invested into that Seattle community, I'd love to see Jamal Crawford be a part of it. And I would love to see a woman be a part of that ownership group
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Like
Yeah.
Sue Bird or somebody in that vicinity, like somebody that really has impact that be a woman, you know, just to bring the diversity.
Yeah.
'Cause I think
that'd
that it's
be
time
dope.
for that.
I think that most NBA franchises, I think you guys would agree. I think it's time. It's been beyond time, but now more so than ever, it's time that NBA franchises at least have some minority shares held by former players of the franchise that can help that franchise. Like
that knows the city that's
Yes.
been a part of it as an
a
athlete.
perfect
you know?
example. I think Paul Pierce should be a part of the Celtics ownership group.
So that's where we stop. So Nick Hamilton is here.
Ain't that the truth, man? Ain't that
Man,
the truth?
that's crazy. But Nick, tell the people what you got going, man. Nightfall Media.
Nah, man. Actually, it's changed. We are
you changing it up?
Yeah, it's Nightcast Media in the building.
Okay.
Got the new website dropping in a few, and new projects. You know, current projects that we've been working on. We have a few new projects that we're EPing and in the works and development. So we're doing that on the audio side as well as the digital side.
I love it.
Shout out to my team. That's doing an excellent job and definitely trying to expand it. Trying to be like Himes in here with this studio. Man, I may have to. Well, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, I ain't gonna incriminate myself.
Your job is to watch him. We don't want him.
Wow, watch the black guy, huh? Okay, all right. So much for progression in 2021, huh?
What do you
Nah,
mean? Like,
I'm messing with you.
No, I'm black
Mike
too.
Watch Mike Hell, not Nick.
Nah, it's all
The
good.
stuff I take, I can because I'm part of this whole thing. You know.
Well, man, I'm your cousin, man. I'm gonna do the.
Oh, my first cousin out here. So.
Yeah, you know what I
you
mean?
talking
Like,
about,
hey,
bro?
man, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
Man. Anytime a black
Pete.
person knows somebody, man, that's my cousin in there.
Yeah,
Man, they
that's
cool.
like-
They
yeah.
chilling. They ain't
He's
worried
not
about
gonna
nothing.
take anything
Yeah,
from me.
some
Nick's
cool.
my cousin, bro. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
He owe me from high school, man.
Hey, you can take that black belt because I don't believe it. Himes ain't really about that life, but
Wow. No, I ain't messing with Hines, man. I seen that black, but I'm cool. I'm
See
his best friend.
See, Cuzzo understands, bro. Nick understands.
I don't want to
Man.
hear it. But our
Well-
last episode, we had so much. It was a great episode.
Wait,
Himes, tell us about it.
Wait. Before we even do that, I got it.
Okay.
I've told you already in person, but I want it also on the podcast too. Like, you are constantly putting in work, Nick. I
Thank
don't
you,
think
man.
you get enough credit.
Oh, yes.
Both from everyone around you as well as on social media. So I want to tell you, like, you are constantly working, and that is motivation for guys like myself, and I know Michael sees it too.
Of course.
It's stuff that you feed off of, watching others do well for themselves. And I'm constantly seeing you on the scene, whether it's on television, whether it's on Instagram doing shows, on site and on scene. You make it a point to be there. So just keep on grinding, man.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. I thank you, man. That
claps,
means
man.
a lot, man. I mean, I don't just do it for me, but I do it for people that, like I said, my team, family, just to lay the foundation, because one of these days I'm not going to be here, and so you got to do as much as you can while you can, and then there's different phases in life. It may be time for you to go to phase 2, so you want to be able to lay the foundation and try to make your name good, to ensure for other people to come behind you through the door. So that's what I pretty much
Inspire,
have done.
man. Nip said it best. You got to inspire.
And people looked out for me, so it's just paying it forward.
Back, yeah.
And what you said really hits home, because we're going to take that turn, go into the episode, as Michael said. Last episode, we had talked about Michael's COVID recovery and me talking about my experience with childhood sexual assault, which is very deep. I know we're a sports show, but going off of what you said, I know that a lot of people have reached out to me that, one, I haven't been able to respond to, and two, just overall, the first day I got a lot of messages and I started responding to people, and then it started flooding. I was getting more and more messages from people, and I don't want it to come across seeming like I'm ignoring people, because I'm not. I want it understood, though, that I am so blessed knowing that I could help others feel comfortable enough to talk about these things.
Yep.
Yet I am still in that place of figuring out what my comfort level is. So for me, getting all those messages, it's a lot of love, and I appreciate it wholeheartedly. But I am still just at the very first steps of figuring things out for myself. And I'm wanting to make it clear that I am a resource, just as Michael has said, for the people to come and talk to feel comfortable with, knowing whatever is said stays in the room, that type of thing, and that there is no judgment whatsoever.
Yeah, because a lot of people are, deal with, like we talked about the last show, similar things. They just don't have the strength to come out. So that's what you did was a great job of, speaking your truth. And now people are going to be willing to contact you and say, man, talk to me about it, because I don't know how you were able to do that, and record it and put it out there. So, you have to expect that.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I just want to say, man, just publicly, man, courage and respect to you for having the strength to do that. Because I'm sure, I mean, I checked out the episode. I was able to do it. I'm just like, wow. Like, how many people have not been able to do that and free themselves?
Facts.
Because I felt like it was a level of freedom that maybe you experienced and that other people experienced, which is why you got hit up, 300-400 times. Because it's a real deal, man. I mean, people are going through a lot of trauma, and mental health is real. Yeah. So congrats to you for doing that, man.
So, man, people make it 500, if you need help.
Yeah, if you need help and you're looking for someone, always reach out. But what I want to harp on is, you guys seen the movie Pay It Forward from, I think it was the early 2000s, and it's with Kevin Spacey, I know. But the premise exists. So. It's about a child who tries to pay it forward to others in his community by getting a group of 10 people together, helping them get established jobs, income, X, Y, and Z, with the message of, hey, I'm doing this for you. Now your mission, once you're set up, is to,
Okay.
And for me, that's where I sit and that's where I stand as well.
Yeah.
I am in a place of power where I have a platform to do this. I feel comfortable enough to do this, and I'm ready to do this. And I want others to know that, hey, you might not have a platform, but your voice is just as powerful and deserves to be heard, recognized, and accepted.
Yeah.
And not just accepted from others, but most importantly, you have your own self-acceptance of your voice and who you are.
Agreed. And that's why we grind and do this, because we're, like Nick said, we're setting up things for others, in the future, because there's going to be some young reporters, broadcasters are going to come to us and, hey, man, you guys been killing it, and it's for us to give that game to them. So exactly no matter what you're going through in life, whether you grew up in the gang culture, drugs, and all that, if you grew out of it, you should be willing to help others to get themselves out of it as well.
And going back to what you said, this is my phase 2. I am finally at a place where I am finding, I think the best way I can put it genuinely is I'm finding who Alex Himes is.
And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And it takes time, right? It's an everyday thing. but I'm doing it now. And the beautiful part that I want other people to understand, and other people being the people around me, the people who are also 3 degrees of separation, you know, the LinkedIn invites or the messages, right? All of this, what we are doing right now, helps me become more comfortable with who I am. Being able to talk about it, being able to know that we can have these conversations, and then right after we can talk about the NBA, which we plan to do, right?
Yeah.
It's the acceptance, the feeling.
Yeah.
I think people want, like I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine, and I was just saying, you know, like you talk about the NBA, and people don't want to hear X's and O's 95% of the time.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to hear, well, I was +4 in the rebound column. I'm like, who really gives a shit?
Who cares?
Like, who gives a shit? Like, who cares? People want to. The reason why you get more eyeballs on certain things is because people want to be entertained. They want to. If you're gonna take up their time, make it worth their while.
Yeah. Yep.
So you telling your what happened in your situation, or you know, Michael may say something about what he was going through, or MJ may say something what she's going through to reveal to the ladies or whoever. It's that's what it's about. It's about connection. It's about, okay, why am I investing 45 minutes of my time into you?
True.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And that's what you guys do. Like, you guys take people's time into accountability, to account rather, and just say, okay, I'm gonna make the best 45 minutes, hour, or whatever, and y'all gonna sit here and watch this.
Yeah. And
You know?
that's what we do. So we got to talk about it. He used to be a face of LA, one of the faces at least.
I just gotta say,
the
that
guy
was
with
the
red
worst
hair.
transition time. In all, the planet. All of us knew it. All of us felt it. Nick and I looked at each other. We're like,
I know. I was just like, I got to talk about Blake, man, because of course Clipper Darrell, our guy, he always hits me up, and he was just telling me, man, it's a sad thing to see Blake like this, and I'm like, you right, because I never thought Blake would be a buyout option ever in his career.
we talked about this. Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Blake Griffin in the buyout market. We
Yeah.
always talk about guys like, remember back in 2013, Eric Dampierre is on the buyout market
Who?
for the Miami Heat to come and take
Who?
and then bring
Who?
him on.
Who was Eric Dampierre? No,
Exactly my point. And here we are now talking about a guy who was a slam dunk champ who jumped over the front of the car, not the car entirely. Don't get it
I would do that
twisted.
to him, man.
Man, I'm going to level him out because
Hey,
it's the
man, I was there. It was amazing to see.
Oh,
while
I'm not
you was
taking it away,
there.
but
I don't
people-
know. I saw it on TV, but to be there live when he did it and have Baron Davis come out the sunroof, like timed it perfectly.
perfect.
Would you be more impressed, though, if
Whoa.
he jumped over the roof of the car, not the hood?
Dude, I wouldn't care if it was the hood, the trunk, because I can't jump over
Yeah,
the
I
hood
can't-
or the trunk.
fine, damn it.
I
I'm
can't
just being
jump over
specific.
the
I don't
little-
care. I'm not gonna shade
Hey,
that
you
man
know the
for
little
doing
toy
that.
cars that the kids have?
Plus, he
I
could have
can't jump
injured
that.
himself, because think about this: if he would have slipped or
Yeah.
like didn't take that proper step, or
It's a
Baron
car,
Davis would have
bro.
been like half a second
Yeah.
off in the timing, bro, that could have went all kinds of bad.
Hey,
And
what's
where
the-
he would have landed?
Hey, what's the legend name? Flex Mitchell, I think, from Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to
That's
jump over the full
throwback,
cars.
yeah.
Well, just like when Kobe jumped over the Aston Martin.
Okay, wait a second. Now, wait. I got to know because
Hey, that's
I still to this,
hilarious.
I know that people have said it's fake. People have said it's real. So I genuinely don't know.
I don't think Kobe would jeopardize his image back then.
Oh, yeah.
And Ronnie Turioff said no, it actually went down. Ronnie Turioff was there.
Man.
So
Cap.
No.
Super cap.
I don't know. Ronnie Turioff seems like the
man,
guy
that sound
that
like
doesn't
some
have much to
hateration,
lie about.
holleration all in the damn
I ain't
studio
hating
over
up,
there,
bro. It's
man.
not
Yeah,
jumping
straight
over.
up.
Rest
I
in
thought-
peace to the Mamba, my favorite
I
player of all
thought we
time.
left the
Y'all see
hate
shirt?
for
I
courtside
get
radio.
it.
Y'all see the
I just
shirt,
don't
he ain't
think
jumping
Kobe.
over
I just
the
don't think Kobe would jeopardize.
Yeah.
At that point, when Kobe was like the guy,
Yes.
I don't think he would jeopardize his image
Yeah.
to do that. I
But
think
he-
if it was fake, like now, you know, in the pool full of snakes,
He
I'm
jumped
like,
over that.
I think he did. He definitely jumped
looks
over
real.
that.
That looks real.
But
That looks
I
real.
don't think the car. I think the car thing was real too. I don't think he would at that point. He would jeopardize.
to hurt.
He was still athletically.
He
gifted.
needed to get those rings to catch Shaq, so he wasn't about to injure himself.
Yeah,
you
no.
know.
But I think I don't think it was at the pace.
No,
That
yeah,
the
yeah,
car
yeah,
did.
yeah.
They sped it up.
It may have
probably.
been like 20 miles an hour. Well, you know what I'm saying? And if you're an athlete in great shape like
Yeah.
Kobe was, you can time it to your
Yeah,
like.
I'm pretty sure.
But I don't think the car went that fast.
Yeah,
Like, I
it-
do think that.
The
Only
the
Kenny the
footage
Jet
was
Smith.
altered.
Only Kenny Jet Smith was real. Where he got y'all never seen that?
Oh, that's why you got the knock knees, or
No, y'all ain't
Oh,
seen
okay.
the,
I
the
was thinking
TNT
too, like,
spoof.
is he
Hey,
bow-legged
make sure
because of
y'all
hitting
watch
a
the
car?
TNT spoof of that Kenny Jet Smith. But back to Blake. Where is he going? Where do you think he's going to go, Nick?
That's a good question, man. I know there was talk about the Lakers. There was talk about maybe the Miami Heat at some point because he's a buyout. and the Lakers do need some depth.
Yep.
I don't think he fits with the Lakers scheme personally, the way that they're orchestrated.
I agree.
And the way that Frank
Yes.
Vogel likes to coach. I don't think it, because I think it's a band-aid to something that needs stitches.
Yeah.
And I'm if you're, and I've said this and people looked at me like, oh, you're crazy. I think if you're a Lakers fan, you should be extremely concerned right now, because with Anthony Davis, he's scheduled to come back in 2 weeks or so.
Look at me on.
I think if he's not at least 90% and pain-free, keyword pain-free, it's going. Now the Lakers can make the playoffs, no question.
Of course.
They won't win the chip without a healthy Anthony Davis and a pain-free Anthony Davis.
No, yeah, and I said it last year.
They
I
won't
felt
win
he
the
was-
chip at all.
They
He
will
was
not.
I said he was the most important piece because
Oh,
of his
he
efforts
was.
on both ends of the floor. So without him,
said-
but Blake can't be there though.
You
Blake
said 90%, right?
Yeah, he's got to be at least 90%.
What was that percentage I gave you?
about what?
I said the exact same thing that Nick Hamilton just said, and that they would need Davis to be 80% healthy for them to actually get another chance at the title.
The reason why I can't listen to him because he's the same guy that tells me every year the Celtics are going to the finals. So I just scrap it.
You got to
out.
get off that narcotic, man.
Yeah, for real.
You really got to get off that narcotic.
Tatum
That's
was
it.
literally 10 minutes away from taking a rookie-led Celtics team to the NBA Finals.
Tatum
over
is
LeBron
not. But see,
James.
here's
I
the
don't
thing
wanna
with
hear
Tatum.
that.
I love Tatum.
I don't
I
wanna
think
hear
he's an extremely talented player, but he's not your number one guy.
He's a great number two.
He's an outstanding number two. Much like how we talk about Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol was not the number one guy with the Memphis Grizzlies, which is why they didn't have a lot of success. But the moment he got with the Mamba, who was an alpha number one, he was an excellent number two. Much like how we saw Scottie Pippen be with Michael Jordan and so forth. So you got to know your role. And you have to understand what that role is and be comfortable with that role. Most importantly, a lot of players aren't comfortable.
Yeah,
So
true.
my question with Blake Griffin is, mentally, are you going to be comfortable with any type of role that you get with the team that you're going to?
Yep.
Because as you alluded to earlier, this guy was the number one pick,
Yeah.
coming with an injury, number one with a bullet,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and waited a whole year. And so everybody wants to get on Ben Simmons for waiting a year and then getting the rookie of the year. No. That was Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin started that trend.
True.
So when you talk about that kind of stuff, it's like this guy goes from number one. You went from top 10 to not mention at all.
Yeah. Fact.
You know what I mean?
And that's got
your first one was Illmatic. The way it was
And you know what they call that? The Detroit Pistons.
right.
That's the wasteland. But I think
Shout out
his
to the
best fit
313.
is I think Brooklyn. Just because, Blake isn't the same. I think, what does he have? 2 dunks this year, if he has any.
Yeah,
It's
he went
those
the
knees,
first 10
man.
games.
Yeah.
Those
He went
knees,
the first
man.
10 games
So
without a dunk.
I hate to say it, but just go to Brooklyn, get you some rings. Get
All
you a
right.
ring and get out the way.
I understand you
If you
want-
say the Celtics, MJ is replacing you.
No,
right now.
I understand
Okay.
that I understand that you're trying to convince the Brooklyn Nets to become the lost Oklahoma City Nets at this point, considering they would have Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan if they got both, and then they're got
Durant,
5 other
James.
guys
I
from the
like it.
Oklahoma City Thunder. No,
I
look,
like it.
it's a fit that works. I think that Blake Griffin piece and what they need, it's a puzzle fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also think, yes, in fact, the Celtics as a need,
Oh
Blake
my God.
Griffin fills that need to some degree.
MJ, get ready.
I think that he fills a need
Hey
to some
man,
degree.
and a man ain't got off that narcotic, man. He still ain't got off
Y'all
that
still
narcotic.
good.
Yeah, y'all need more size.
Do I
But
think-
here's the thing.
Do I think that he goes to Brooklyn? Yes, I ultimately think that he ends up in Brooklyn. I think
Shams.
I think too. I think there's a team that everybody continues to disrespect and continue.
Miami.
There are 2 teams that the league continues to disrespect and overlook. And I think one of those teams is comfortable. I think one of those teams isn't. The one team that's comfortable are the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yes.
Because I
Love
think
that.
the Sixers, I think the way Joel Embiid is playing, and he's finally growing into his own.
yes.
And I the way that Ben Simmons has been playing alongside of that with
Yeah.
Tobias Harris and
Yeah.
those guys,
Seth.
I think it's exactly Seth. But Doc Rivers coming in there, installing a system and some discipline that I think they didn't have prior with Brett Brown. I think it's going to be a difference maker, not right now, but possibly in the playoff run when they
Yes.
get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Sure.
And they're going to have to meet up with everybody's pretty much anticipating, minus injury, that it's going to be the Brooklyn Nets and the
Yeah,
Sixers in the Eastern
and
Conference
Eastern,
Finals
yes.
somehow.
Sorry,
some way.
Giannis.
I think
I think I told you, or I think
we were
it was
talking about the Bucks.
yeah, it was you. I know it was you, but I can't believe it was Mark Gunnels or you that I was telling.
It's on our balcony, yeah.
Giannis ain't ever winning a championship in Milwaukee.
No, he
Yeah,
won't.
no, I don't
He
think
took
so
too much. First of all, you took too much money. Secondly,
Yeah.
they got too much money tied into guys for the next 2 years. So you can't attract anybody there
Yeah.
that's going to be worthwhile to help you.
And
Giannis was an idiot.
Shout
Well,
out
you talk
UCLA
about-
with
you're-
Drew Holiday,
You're,
but
you're
he's not
talking
the
about
Oh, I love
Tatum.
Drew.
You're talking about Tatum being a glorified, really good number 2. I got one for you. To me, Giannis is a glorified number 2.
Not so fast there, my friend.
Shaq,
He needs
he
another
needs a Kobe. He
alpha.
needs a Kobe.
Yes.
That's it.
And
He
what does
needs-
that tell you?
But he has. But here's the problem with Giannis. I'll say this much: I think he's a number 1 because he's still young. He can grow into it. I think he already has it in him. He just has to come out, and he has to have the right pieces and tools for it to come out. Which is why I said earlier about hanging out with Dream and Tim Duncan, because these are guys that have made it. They had to grow into their roles. Obviously, even though they were immensely talented at the time, they still had to grow into it.
Yep.
Tim with Tony Parker and Ginobili, and then you had Dream with Maxwell Thorpe, Kenny Smith, and guys like that. So you had to grow into it, but it was always there.
Yeah.
And I think with Giannis, it's there. It just has to. The right pieces have to be brought out for it to shine.
He just needs to have court game.
And
Once he
that's the
gets that-
thing. Once he gets that, he's gonna. I mean, what do we say about Ben Simmons? Ben Simmons is a jumper away from being
Yes.
great.
Yeah,
right.
Agree.
It's there. It just has to be
Yeah, it has
developed
to
and
be-
fine tuned.
Agreed.
Same thing with Giannis. So to sell Giannis short, yeah, I say he's never gonna win a championship because he's not while he's in Milwaukee.
Yes.
That doesn't mean if he goes to a team like Miami or
Boston.
no.
Lakers.
I said a championship, not wishing upon a star.
Yeah, we should
Damn.
But I'm saying, like,
I
even
love
if you
it.
went to the Clippers and you had Kawhi and you had Paul George, you still got an opportunity.
yeah.
But if you go to a team that's not really invested or built for winning, a la the Houston Texans, you're going to get those type of situations.
Hey.
And eventually Giannis is going to be upset. He may not say it, but he's going to have his people talking.
Yep.
And he's going to have, well, sources inside have told me, Giannis, and it may be, there's some truth to it,
Well,
But
that's what happened last time.
They haven't
see-
won since Kareem was Lou Alcindor.
Look,
Think
I
about that.
want to point this out too.
we haven't won since they were playing in the Bradley Center.
Yeah, man.
Wah, wah, wah. No,
So
all right.
crazy.
So the one
That's
thing,
how long.
the one
Yeah.
point I will make is this man has Mike Budenholzer as his coach, who is a great coach for a team that needs to instill an all-in mentality. Look what he was able to do with Atlanta.
True.
Right? They had no legitimate number 1 star. In my personal opinion, they had 4 all-stars, but no legitimate number
Kyle
1.
Korver, what are you talking? No, I'm joking. You got it. I'm joking.
He wasn't even the wait. He was the all-star that year. It was DeMar
Him,
Carroll
Joe
that
Johnson,
wasn't. DeMar Carroll was the
T.
one. Of the
ISO
starters.
Joe?
Yeah, ISO Joe.
ISO Joe was clean, man. But Coach Bud is a great coach to develop a team to buy in for an all-in mentality when there is no number 1 star.
Yeah.
What is Milwaukee trying to push? That Giannis is the number 1 star and they need other pieces around him. You brought up that they've been strapped salary-wise because of making bad deals.
Yeah.
What they thought would be good deals, and on paper, most people would agree, it's the players that didn't pan out because either the system wasn't conducive or their talent level didn't play up to par, like Bledsoe. This team needs a lot more than just another player to go along with Giannis. I personally think that for them to take that next step, the phase 2, if you will, is by bringing in a new head coach. Someone that can coach a
Mark
team
Jackson,
better.
bring him in.
Mark Jackson
but
deserves a nod.
Can
for
I
sure.
tell you guys about a guy who is a number 1, who does have a chance to win a championship? My pick for mid-season MVP, since we're going to talk about
Vladimir Radmanovich.
Get out of here. Joel Embiid, baby, Embiid. I've been on the Sixer train for a minute. I've been waiting for them to actually perform. This year I actually gave up, and they proved me right.
You
they
actually
doing
gave up at the beginning of the
Yeah,
year.
I did.
Well, there is video evidence of Michael saying, I'm giving up on
I was
it.
like, that's it. I was like, they're going to be trash. Ben Simmons is
So
never going to figure
you
it out.
trusted the process.
I did for a minute.
Okay.
And then I lost trust. But Embiid brought it back. I'm telling you guys right now, he is the midseason MVP. He finished with a big win versus Utah, 40-19 versus Gobert. That's my
Well,
MVP. Who you got right now,
He
Nick?
should. I mean, Joel Embiid has been very, very impressive. I think he's grown into, as we talked about earlier, growing into who you are. And I think he's definitely grown into that. But I think the discipline and a breath of fresh air with Doc Rivers being the head coach,
True.
I think that's also helped. I think Ben Simmons has kind of found his lane, which helped Joel Embiid be able to be dominant the way we all know he was capable of being. He's definitely a midseason MVP, and I gotta look at LeBron James too.
Yeah,
I mean
agree.
LeBron James. I mean, without Anthony Davis, especially those last couple of weeks, they've had some pivotal losses, but when you look at the overall spectrum of what LeBron has had to do and pretty much carried this team like he did a Cavs team a couple of seasons ago, it's been, thoroughly impressive. I don't think that gets enough shine the way it does. I know we look at James Harden, but
don't forget Jokic. The bigs are back. The bigs are back.
That's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
I love Joel Embiid. I want to give Embiid to me right now is my midseason MVP because of what he's done statistically and also what he's doing with the team as a whole. The team's number 1 seed, and they've been able to kill it with Embiid on the roster, right?
Yeah.
And he's evolved his game. He now has a legitimate shooting. He's a legitimate shooting threat from all angles of the court. He's able to separate and also help other guys score. Like, his passing ability is also something I think that's underrated that we don't talk about enough.
Talking about Embiid?
Yes, Embiid
Okay.
in particular. Embiid in particular has a better passing game than we give him note for, and the team is number 1, right?
So you got Embiid as midseason MVP?
Yes, but I want to make it a point to note that it's solely because of record. To me, Jokic is more of the MVP candidate of the 2 big men. But because of record, Embiid, given what he's doing with a new head coach, the situation also plays a major role.
Yeah.
Jokic has had Malone as his head coach and had these guys around for a while, right? But the way Embiid has come into the season, not only has he stepped up his play, he's made his team the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference with a brand new head coach, with new players, making Tyrese Maxey a guy that dropped 38 points in a game when Simmons wasn't healthy.
Hey,
and because
he's
Embiid
making
is
Danny
able to
Green
help.
look like a nice pickup. So
All right, we're not going that far. Danny Green is still not
Lionel Richie
yeah.
Jr.
Man.
Damn.
And after he
Junior,
did that,
junior,
that
junior.
step back dribble move, I was like, oh, it's Embiid.
Yeah, it's
That was
Embiid
crazy.
right now to me is my midseason MVP. But if the Denver Nuggets get hot and finish within top 3, I'm saying top 3 of the West, with Jokic leading the way, I'm going with Jokic.
That's a
Hey,
big
can I
if.
shake your hand?
That's what I'm saying. It's
That's
a big major.
That's a big if.
I have to shake his hand because he didn't say a Celtic name at all. So
I'm shocked.
proud of him.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, that
I'm
treatment
really-
is working. It's starting to work.
I'm really proud of
Defensive
you.
Player of the Year is Robert Williams. I want to give you one
Yeah,
reason why. He's not actually my Defensive
Okay.
Player of the Year. But
I
I want
don't
to
know if
point
I can
out
flip this
the
table.
one stat line that didn't make sense to me that is still mind-boggling. Robert Williams has more blocks this year than missed shots.
Who cares? So defensive player of the year.
No, wait. It is not defensive
No,
player of
it's
the year.
crazy,
but
but-
isn't that nuts? Nick, come on, don't go on your phone. I know that's crazy to you.
Defensive player of the year.
Damn.
I want to say Ben Simmons because he's so amazing guarding every position, but it's Rudy Gobert.
False.
The top defensive team. That's his only goal to easy dunks and to be great defensively,
And-
rebounding and blocking shots and being that presence as easy as Rudy Gobert.
I would like to say Rudy Gobert as well. I mean, when I talk about teams being disrespected, the Utah Jazz are a disrespectful,
Oh my God,
disrespected
man.
team.
Yeah.
Man.
We didn't play with
And
Utah
Rudy-
back in the day.
And Rudy
facts.
Gobert, and that's true. Nobody did.
nobody
Like,
played
let's,
with
be-
Utah.
let's keep it a buck. Like nobody was
did.
touching Utah.
Nah.
Like, are you
This ain't
serious?
back in the day. This is right now.
Like John Stockton shorts, and nobody was touching
They had
that.
no
Hey, man,
dunkers from the
don't
wing.
hate on
I
those
wasn't
Nah,
playing.
Mark Eaton and man, come on, man,
Mark
2-inch
Eaton,
vert.
baby.
Jeff Hornacek, come on, man.
Come on, Thorough Bailey,
Bruh.
the knockoff James Worthy. Like,
Yeah.
nah, come on. But I mean, when you look at what Rudy Gobert has attributed and contributed rather to what the Utah Jazz are about, and they've been able to gel because they played together. And you got a beast in Spider Mitchell.
Yes.
Like for you to be able to go out there and really dominate and really come into the fold. I mean, I think I've seen one game. I think it was against the Clippers where they
Yes.
finally got all their guys back and they were able to kind of neutralize Rudy Gobert and keep the ball out of the
I covered
paint.
that game.
Yeah, I was there too. Yeah. So I mean, we both saw that. And it was like, but it was a difference between night and day. But you had to have all of the Clippers, Kawhi, PG, Pat Bev. You had to have everybody on deck to neutralize this guy.
Yeah,
And that's
true.
what it's going to take for any team, especially if you're in a 7-game series. You're going to have all hands on deck because if you don't, it's going to be a long night for
He
you.
just
And-
changes everything.
and
He
the
does.
irony
He
is-
alters a lot.
Except when he faces Embiid.
The irony that we're mentioning is when we say neutralize Rudy Gobert, it's not even about the scoring. It's preventing him from getting offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
You have to be able on the offense, and we're not talking defensive. We're talking offensive rebounds because that's where Gobert really does shine bigger than anyone else on the court. Like we had talked in the preseason about how Gobert's contract to any other team, it's wasted money to some degree, right? He gets overpaid.
$205
right?
million.
He gets overpaid from another organization. But to the Jazz, to their credit, they're proving that the money and the value is there. He is the defensive tone setter for this squad. They're able to knock down 3-pointers and get open looks also because he's able to pass. He's able to separate, get open lanes for guys. I see guys like Joe Ingles driving to the basket and getting open shots at the basket because Gobert is able to get a screen
guard
set up.
Joe Ingles.
My man said Joe Ingles.
Joe Ingles, yes.
I can guard Joe Ingles.
We're not even going to not Boban. I'm
Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, we're not even going to Bogdanovich. We're going Joe Ingles of all guys. This man has the slowest steps in the NBA and manages to get a
That
layup.
statue could guard Joe Ingles.
Yeah, man, this is
Go on,
straight up
let's
how
go
he would
on.
body him
He's
up.
great.
He would body him up just like that. Look, Gobert is leading this team to being the number 1 team in the Western Conference, right?
Yeah, for now.
You can say that for now, sour Laker fan, but understand they're
Yeah,
number
it might
1
be
right
for
now.
a while, bro.
Yes, it's not just for now.
Number 1 during the season don't matter. It's
Okay,
about
let's
playoffs.
also go to the other stat that I was about to mention. What are they defensively ranking wise?
I believe they're number 1.
Exactly. So point in case,
We're number 1.
Rudy Gobert is now the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and there's no discussion as to anyone else who should
And
be.
now I know who you play like when you do play. He plays like Joe Ingles.
Come on, bro. That's
honestly
the only
got
way
you.
I can play.
But,
Good passing, 3-point shooting, and the
Rookie of
layups
Year
every now and then.
I think Rookie of the Year might be the easiest one.
Man, we'd have the best team. Earl Boykins and freaking myself on the roster. Joe
That's
Ingles
it,
and Earl
Earl
Boykins.
Boykins.
That's a good one.
Damn.
Hey, Earl had game, though. Don't sleep on
That's
Earl.
why
Shout out
I'm saying
Earl
it. It
Boykins.
ain't
He had
bad. It's
game.
not an insult.
Hey,
I was
so
gonna say Nicholas Van Exel.
I prefer Nick. I prefer
that's
Nick.
too much.
I
That's
do
too
got a
much.
lot
Wow.
of.
That's too much.
I got a
bro.
lot of Nick to quit
All right, like
in my
Smush
game.
Parker.
But Rookie of the Year is easy. LaMelo Ball. Am I right? Because Anthony Edwards he has moments.
I'm the jury's. I like LaMelo Ball. I'm gonna say
Nick,
the jury is
no
still
way.
out. I'm not on the hype train, bro. I'm not on the hype
Really?
train. I'm not on the Puffy Night hype train like some of y'all are. I'm just not. I like LaMelo Ball. I think he's the best out of all 3 brothers.
That's not saying much.
But
No, that says a lot.
no, because the way Puffy Knight was hyping up his kids,
No,
like
true.
they was better than
True.
sliced bread. Like, come on, man.
Puffy
Nah.
Night, I love that.
Listen, LaMelo Ball has game. I mean, he plays defense with a tuxedo on, but
Agreed.
offensively, he just to me. I'm just waiting to see what year 2 brings.
True.
Yes.
Because they don't have a lot of film on this kid. And your first year, you're always going to, I mean, you know that I'll use a football analogy with Pat Mahomes. Unless you watch Texas Tech games, which I've had a chance to watch because I couldn't sleep at night, that's when I first noticed Pat Mahomes. And then when he got into the league, and everybody was like, oh, he's great the first year. I'm like, no, this kid is really sensational.
Yeah.
But that second and third year will tell the tale. And he's been leaps and bounds over every barrier that's come his way. And I think the same thing is going to have to happen for LaMelo Ball to really get out there and for people to really appreciate his brilliance. Because I say that because he looks at the court geometrically. That's why you look at these passes that are so crisp, almost like a pitcher or what a quarterback would do. You know, going when a guy cuts across the middle. So I think for me, the jury's still out because I like Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man is that guy.
Oh, he's amazing.
He had the dunk of the year for sure.
Yes.
There's no reason to have a dunk contest this year. I don't know what the
was it.
hell the NBA was thinking.
We got guacamole
There's
to
no-
make, bro.
Man.
I got a newspaper to read. I don't even know where I'm gonna find one. I don't want to watch that crap. So we can just watch highlights over and over again of Ant-Man dunking, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I think it's between those two. I think you're right. I think it's between Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball.
I
we'll
like
see.
Who you got?
I like Anthony Edwards a lot. I think that it's unfair in that I think LaMelo got started a lot earlier, and the eyes were all on him way sooner than they were on Anthony Edwards. Right? The hype train for LaMelo Ball started with his father 4 years ago, 5 years ago at this point, right? And that hype train has now led itself to Charlotte, where the market isn't as big, but because of how impactful this one guy is on the court.
Yep.
We've talked about how people have forgotten how Devontae Graham last year was killing it. People forget that
Could have been
people are
most
forgetting.
improved.
Yeah. And here we are now. I think LaMelo is definitely, right now, given the attention he's received and the play that he's had, because I've had to cover a lot of the Charlotte games, he is the rookie of the year right now, right at this very moment.
Yes.
I think that given a couple more months and Anthony Edwards realizing, hey, Cat and deloading aren't doing much. They're still loading. Why don't I just go out and ball? If he starts going out and playing out of his mind, then
he has a chance.
No, not just a chance. Then there's a guaranteed 50-50 shot.
I think Melo just has the name, and then they're in the Eastern Conference, so they have a chance to make the playoffs. That's going, and then you're playing under MJ. MJ gonna make sure he.
If you're a team that gets to the playoffs after a year of not being in the postseason, and you get to quote unquote attribute it to a new addition player, and that player is playing really well, by de facto, he is the player of the year for that team and the rookie.
And how we're gonna finish this show? That's exactly why Carmelo should have been rookie of the year over LeBron.
Hey, all I'm saying is I do not appreciate people saying Melo in reference to LaMelo. No, I don't care. No, I don't care.
It's more than just a name, bro.
No.
Put some respect on Carmelo.
No, I know, of course.
There's a legacy, man.
First of
doing
all,
this is one thing. Everyone does that.
And let me say this too: if you're gonna wear number 2, he better be the best thing in Charlotte, because the best number 2 that the Charlotte Hornets ever had is Grandmama.
Yeah.
Yep.
Larry Johnson. You better be leaps and bounds. But if you gonna wear number 2 for the Charlotte Hornets, you better be better than Grandmama.
True.
And people from our generation don't get that. Go watch Grandmama clips.
Yeah, Grandmama.
If you don't get that, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Hey, so our guy Nick Hamilton, man, thanks for joining us. Let the people know where they can find you everywhere, man.
Hey, man, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Man, always love to come on the platform, man. Dig in the studio once again. I can't say that any more than what I've already said.
This all me. This all my work.
Yeah, I know who to really call, man. We gonna talk off
this man over right, to build those shelves, right? Him and his cousin were here building those shelves, right? I got mine done in 45 minutes. Him and his cousin were literally
you better off going to Home Depot and getting one of the day laborers from Home Depot.
Because we was thinking about freestyles, man. You know what we do.
We were sitting here. We weren't even listening to beats.
I know.
Man, that's
still bars.
God has a plan for your life, but that wasn't it.
Manual labor was not it for Michael that day.
Where can they find you on Instagram?
Hey man, you guys, thank you again, man. Appreciate it. Nightcast Media is the label. It is going to be one of the biggest media companies there is one of these days. I guarantee it. Nightcast Media, NITECASTMEDIA.com, coming soon. You can follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook at Nick Hamilton LA, and also on Twitter at Nick Hamilton 213 to Twitter. And then you can catch me every Tuesday, Sirius XM Slam Radio 145, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, TMA with Nick Hamilton, and also every Thursday with myself and Jackie Ray on The Opposite Reaction on Dash Radio, Dash Talk X, every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, and on all streaming platforms.
Hey, so make sure y'all
clip, bro. That needs to be its own clip.
Hey, make sure y'all follow, man. My guy is grinding. Himes, get us out of here, man.
As usual, ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Check us out on social medias. That is at Michael the PG. I am at HymesLA, HYMESLA, just for clarification, because people clearly don't know how to spell my name yet. And we thank you again for tuning in. As usual, guys, stay good, be good people.
Hey, you're out of here. Peace. Catch you next week.